Hey, what's up? This is your girl Diamond. Hey. Sometimes when you are a part of a culture or, kind of in your life, certain things become kind of common to you. In your mind, you feel like they're common and common knowledge, but in all actuality, they're really not. So today, we are going to talk about terminology in our community. Sometimes somebody would say something and I'm like, what are you talking about? Or they say a term that is almost pejorative and you're like, what, bitch? Like, honey, not too much. Don't get too cute. But, and then when you kind of reprimand them, they like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Oh, well, what's the word? Da 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 da. So we're going to talk about terminology. Some things that are kind of obvious and some things, you might not know. So here we go. We're going to talk about it. The first word we're going to talk about is transgender. Okay? Some of us know what that is, but some of us don't. Transgender is a umbrella term, meaning that it covers everything that is like us. Okay? Transgendered is transsexuals, cross-dressers, intersex people. That's like hermaphrodites and stuff. That's what intersex is. All of that kind of stuff where gender bending, queer, all of that kind of stuff. So it falls under the umbrella of transgender. That is kind of like if you don't want to offend anybody, say transgender. Because that kind of covers the whole spectrum. The next word that I am going to discuss is transsexual. Transsexual is now a lot of people, when it comes to what it is, everybody has their own definition. But as a general idea of what transsexual is, it's a person who was born this way, who makes changes to their body to be this way. So if they were born a girl and they did hormones and all this kind of surgeries to get to be a boy, they're transsexual. So vice versa, going from male to female. Now, where people are at in that transition does not determine whether or not they are transsexual. They could never have started hormones. They could never have gotten any surgery. But because their plan is to do this, they are considered transsexual because they feel like they should be the opposite gender of what they were genetically born. Or it could be a person that has gotten to the point where they've done everything else, but they haven't got the surgery for whatever reason. They are still a transsexual. In the transsexual label, there are 3 types of transsexual. You have the post, the pre, and the non. Post-op, pre-op, non-op. Post-operational, pre-operational, non-operational. Okay? The prefixes tell you exactly what they mean. Post-operational means that is after they have had their surgery down there. Okay? Pre is before they have had their surgery down there. Non-operational means they have chosen not to have the surgery. Non-op. Simple. Crossdresser. Crossdresser is a person who enjoys wearing the clothes of the opposite gender they were prospectively supposed to be. Now, something similar is a transvestite. A transvestite could be, you know, anything, any kind of sexual orientation. But, you know, they get aroused, okay, by putting on girl clothes. So if they put on a bra or some panties or a dress, they are sexually aroused by putting on these clothes. The word is paraphilia. It's where objects turn you on. You know, things, fetishisms. It's something like objects turn you on. So when they put on the dress, when they put on the makeup, it's sexual. It has nothing to do with gender, anything. It's just sexual. It turns them on to put these clothes on. Drag queen is the simplest of the term. A drag queen is a person who puts girl clothes on for entertainment. Entertainment. Simple as that. The people that you see with the big hair and the feathers and the stones and they're on stage collecting dollars and doing shows, those are drag queens. Simple. Simple as that. Those are drag queens. You see them, you know, they're lip singing, sing for your life. You know, all that kind of stuff. RuPaul, those are drag queens. Clear. Intersex. Intersex is someone whose the genetic makeup is mixed up. So they are born with either ambiguous genitalia, both kinds of genitalia. You know, those people who physically have a physical thing that is mixed up. People who fall into the intersex category are people who are hermaphrodite, people who are who have Turner syndrome and Klinefelter syndrome. Turner syndrome are females who, when they hit puberty, they go through males' secondary sex characteristics. And Klinefelter syndrome is the opposite. They are males who go through female secondary sex characteristics. So they start growing breasts and, you know, start producing more estrogen and stuff like that. So, you know, that actually is very common. 1 in every 500 males have an extra X chromosome in their makeup. 1 in every 500. So that is really common. Really common. So they just don't have the syndrome, but they have the extra X chromosome. May explain why a lot of guys, you know, come over to the other side. Anyway, that kind of explains what intersex is. Those people with that genetic difference. Queer. Queer used to be a general term for gay. But queer is kind of an umbrella term too, kinda. Queer is usually people who identify with queer. They don't want to be labeled gay, transsexual, intersex. They don't want to have those labels. They don't know what they are. So they do queer. That's kind of like, I'm just queer, you know, or, you know, and sometimes queer just means gay, you know, depend on the context. With all of that said, there are individuals who fall in multiple categories. Like a transsexual can be a drag queen. Okay? You feel what I'm saying? Usually a transsexual is not a transvestite. But they could be, because it could turn them on to dressing girls' clothes. But usually you don't really find that. But you see a lot of transsexuals who do drag, who do the shows and stuff, but they live their life outside of, you know, the stage as the opposite sex that they were born. It is not okay to call anyone a she-male. It is not okay to call anyone a he, she. It is not okay to call anyone a shim. Those are derogatory to the majority of the people that you are going to meet. Now, the tricky word is tranny. Tranny, to me, is just a short way of saying transgender, tranny. Now, some people think the word is derogatory. That's their right to feel that way. They think saying tranny is like saying nigger. How they connect the two when nigger has like a super legacy of slavery and all kinds of deep stuff. Tranny doesn't have that. I don't see how they make the connection, but somehow they make the connection and they feel it's derogatory. So everybody you can't call a tranny. Me, you can, because I'm okay with the word. It doesn't offend me at all. I call other transsexuals trannies. I use the word tranny. It's not a problem. Some people are offended by the word. Okay? Some people are offended by you calling them a transsexual or a transgender, period. You know, because they want to be known as their gender identity. So even though they are born the opposite sex of their gender identity, they don't want to be associated with the trans community, period. They say, hey, look, I know I was born this way, but I fixed it now. So therefore, I'm not associated with the trans community. I am a woman now. You know, like say that, I had a sex change or I did whatever I needed to do to change to my new gender. Then I'm considered the new gender. Don't call me tranny. Don't call me transsexual. Don't call me transgender. Don't call me none of that crap. They ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm a woman. This is what it is. There are some people in the world that are like that. Now, me personally, I think that's kind of delusional, but they have the right to feel how they want to feel. If you're dealing with someone, ask them. Are you offended by me calling you a tranny? Are you offended by me calling you transgender? Are you offended by me calling you transsexual or whatever? And they will, they normally will tell you. They will say, because they know you're not being a bitch just trying to be rude. They feel like you're really concerned. So definitely ask them. What else? That is about it. If there's any more questions I hope that was it. That's about it.